This wrestling radio show may contain strong language that may be offensive to those under the age of 18. If you are under the age of 18, please get permission to listen to this episode. Enjoy, comment, and subscribe. Coming up next on the RCWR show, we're going to get you guys ready for Sunday's 9th annual TNA Turning Point pay-per-view. What better way to get ready for it than by a match prediction special, where I'm going to be offering match predictions on who I think will walk away victorious at Sunday's pay-per-view. It's the RCWR show. Call that match special, and it begins right now. And welcome to the RCWR show. Call that match edition. I am, of course, as always, the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. Thank you guys kindly for checking out this episode on blogtalkradio.com, Stitcher, our sister website at infinityOneproductions.com, and also on YouTube. Special shout out to our YouTube subscribers. So, TNA Turning Point is coming our way from the Impact Wrestling Arena in Orlando, Florida, this Sunday, live on pay-per-view. We got us a jam-packed card for the event. And on paper, it looks like we are going to have another solid installment of wrestling from TNA as TNA continues that streak of impressive pay-per-views. For those of you that might have missed TNA Impact Wrestling, you missed a very solid episode as matches were all announced for this Sunday's pay-per-view. But you know how we do it over here on the RCWR show. We have you covered. So let us begin, as we got a total of 8 matches that's going to be happening at Sunday's pay-per-view. Might be a little more surprises. Who knows? You know, the card is subject to change. But as it stands right now, this Saturday, here's what we have. We're going to take it from the bottom and work our way to the top. Let's go, folks. All right, so first match, we got Robert Roode taking on James Storm and AJ Styles, as it's going to be a triple threat match in which the winner will be awarded the number 1 contender spot to face the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. From the main event of the pay-per-view, of course, it'll either be Jeff Hardy or Austin Aries, whoever that TNA World Heavyweight Champion may be walking out of Sunday's Turning Point pay-per-view. They will have to defend that title against one of those 3 men that I just named. Now, here's what's really awesome about this particular match, as the stipulations couldn't be any higher. You either win to become the number 1 contender to face the TNA World Heavyweight Champion at the next pay-per-view, or if you unfortunately happen to be the person that is pinned or submits, you will not be able to get another TNA World Heavyweight title shot for a whole year plus, folks. That's right. Next title shot won't be until Bound for Glory 2013. So the stakes are very high right here. Now, when you look at the names, you see Bobby Roode, James Storm, AJ Styles. You just look at that and you say to yourself, okay, well, it's nice that AJ Styles is thrown into the mix, but who is this really about? Now, as I had said on Impact Showdown Radio this past Thursday night, I thought it was a nice little breath of fresh air to have AJ Styles thrown into the mix. And I feel he was thrown into the mix to kind of diffuse the fans that might be a little disgruntled with seeing Bobby Roode, James Storm get it on time and time again. So it was nice that that little bit of a monkey wrench known as AJ Styles was thrown in there. But in either case, folks, this really comes down to Roode and James Storm. Now, when it's all said and done, I do not see AJ Styles being the one to get pinned despite a very hostile confrontation between he and James Storm on Impact this Thursday, where James Storm said very candidly, very passionately to Styles that for many, many years he had been the face of TNA Wrestling, and at this point, AJ doesn't even have the belt, and he is still being looked upon as the face of TNA, but Storm is looking to change all that come this Sunday. So, you have to ask yourself, who needs this win more? Who is it that really needs this shot and be able to walk away to take on Jeff Hardy? Now, if there was any indication of what we've seen from Jeff Hardy so far, is that he is a face champion. Doesn't look like he's going to be turning heel anytime soon, as he is that main top merchandise puller for TNA right now, or has always been since he's come to TNA, and that really should not change anytime soon. So keeping that momentum that Jeff Hardy currently has right now wouldn't make sense for him to work a program with AJ Styles, although the two of them, they would have one phenomenal match. I just don't see that happening just quite yet. I see other things on the horizon for AJ Styles. So I'm eliminating AJ Styles. So that leaves us with Bobby Roode, James Storm. We know these two guys' history. We know how they keep going back and forth. As if that grueling street fight wasn't enough from Bound for Glory last month, here we are again. You're just sitting up and you're wondering to yourself, what could possibly happen when these two guys collide? What could possibly be the outcome of this? And folks, I gotta be brutally honest with you. I think this is finally going to be James Storm's night. I think when it's all said and done, James Storm is going to walk away victorious. He's going to get that #1 spot, and he is going to go on to take on Jeff Hardy. And if anybody can work a pretty good program with Jeff Hardy for the next few months, without a doubt, James Storm, he can be that man. He can be that guy that when it's all said and done, he's willing to do whatever is necessary to really dig down deep and take that belt away from Jeff Hardy. He knows that there are those Jeff Hardy fans that will be very passionate about him. They will not want to see him lose that TNA championship. But James Storm, he is not going to care. For him, it'll be all about reliving that dream, recapturing that title. That is his agenda right now, getting back to that mountaintop. And it comes off as if James Storm wants to do it the right way. So James Storm, Jeff Hardy, greatest potential right there to work a very good program for the next 2, 3, heck, maybe even 4 months if they do it right. Now, what's next for Bobby Roode? Well, as we already said, folks, Bobby Roode, that would be it for him until 2013's Bound for Glory pay-per-view. But, I think that TNA Creative might have other things in store for Bobby Roode. So I think you know where I'm going with this, guys. I see James Storm being the one to walk away victorious, but he's also going to be getting that win over a pin or submission from Bobby Roode. That's how I'm looking at it right now. It just really doesn't do AJ Styles any good to be the one to lose. I feel it just does him totally no good. I see AJ Styles going in a different direction after Sunday's pay-per-view. I just think he's serving as a monkey wrench to kind of diffuse that whole heat that Roode and Storm has been getting all these previous months that they've been locking it up. But again, James Storm over Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode will be the one to not get a title shot until October 2013's Bound for Glory. Let's move on with our next match now, folks, which sees Aces and Eights Devon in action as he's going to be taking on the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. Now, we know Kurt Angle has a little bit of payback that he has to dish out, as remember there, folks, Angle did suffer a attack a few times at the hands of Aces and Eights. Most recent one was 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago. So Angle seeking a little bit of retribution right here. You go over to the side of Devon, and Devon, let's not forget, he's that second in command in the Aces and Eights. He's that sergeant in arms. That's his title. That's his rank that he has there. We're looking at this, and, there's two scenarios I see playing out with this particular match. Now, I know this is a pay-per-view match, but one of the things that's jumping out at me is we could get another case where Aces and Eights brothers could come to ringside and assist Devon in getting a win over Kurt Angle. That is one possible scenario. We've seen it time and time again on recent weeks of Impact Live. It could happen this Sunday, folks. But let's also pretend, just for the sake of the argument, that that's not what happens. Well, what then? Well, in either case, I see Devon walking away victorious. Now, I'm telling you guys, it really does not make much sense for Kurt Angle to be picking up a victory over Devon. That just steals momentum away from Devon, Aces and Eights. It makes no sense whatsoever. Devon, he either needs to pick up a clean win or the match needs to end in a no contest where Aces and Eights come out at ringside and they just jump on Kurt Angle and it pretty much ends like that. So either way, I'm looking for Devon to come out on top. If you want me to be in a position where I just choose one possible angle that's going to happen, I'm just going to say Devon, somehow he's going to be able to pull an upset over Kurt Angle, and he's just going to be able to beat him. I won't say cleanly. I just don't see that happening, but he will be able to score a pinfall, something over Kurt Angle to be able to officially pick up a win. But I just feel there's going to be some weird curveballs that's going to be happening in this match. But when it's all said and done, smoke clears, Devon walk away victorious. Let's see what happens with that match. All right, next up we got Jesse and Tara, as they're going to be taking on ODB and Eric Young. And we haven't seen Eric Young on Impact Television for at least a month and a half, maybe almost 2 months. And it seems like every time Eric Young pops up, the question is asked, all right, so we got Eric Young. I suppose we're now going to be able to finally see the TNA tag titles be defended, and yet the TNA tag titles, they are not defended. Why they continue to have these tag titles, I am not even sure. It baffles me. I've been saying it off and on for the past couple of weeks. If TNA Creative isn't sure what to do with these tag titles, then they should just really go on ahead and just take these titles off of ODB, Eric Young, suspend the titles until further notice, because they really do not have much of a tag knockouts division right now, as it's so thin. Rebuild it back up, then maybe revisit it at a later date. And what is really so funny about this particular match, folks, is that the TNA tag titles, they just are not on the line. I can't stress it enough. We have a mixed tag match. That's how they are dubbing this match, when it is the perfect scenario to have the tag titles be put on the line. Now, maybe, just maybe now, TNA Wrestling, they may come across this episode that we're doing, as we do know that there are some folks in TNA that have been listening to us, know what had happened on Impact Live this past Thursday, where the announcers were switched during a commercial break, and we were one of the first, if not the first, wrestling radio station to come on after Impact Live, immediately after Impact Live went off the air for that matter, suggesting to TNA Impact, Dixie Carter, to switch up on their announcers during a commercial break so that it is a more smoother transition rather than do it live on the air, because it looks so awkward, it looks funny, it just causes too much of a distraction. And I took the liberty of sending a direct message to TNA, Dixie Carter, and Impact Wrestling, letting them know that. And what happens a week later? Difference a week makes. We see that the change happens quietly, smoothly during a commercial break. We don't know nothing about it. It comes back on. We got Taz, Mike Tenay. So that kind of lets us know that somebody's listening to us. So I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, somebody will be listening to this episode that works in TNA. And maybe they can take it back to creative that, hey, nice little added bonus for this mixed tag match would be to put the tag knockout, God, it's like a tongue twister when you think about it, the tag knockout titles on the line so that we can officially take them off of ODB and Eric Young already. I mean, my God, it is just one of those running gags right now when you think about the TNA Knockouts Tag Division. But in either case, this is the match. We have to deal with it. It is what it is. Personally, I could care less about Jessie. Tara, I thought she was on one hot streak until she started working with Jessie. And isn't that another thing that's funny, folks? Not only will the TNA tag titles be on the line as of this show, as we're doing it right now, but the TNA Knockouts title is not going to be on the line in this pay-per-view. So that's two WTFs right there for you guys. But in either case, Jessie, Tara, taking on ODB, Eric Young. This pretty much boils down to who needs it more. And you know what, folks? We may be a little bit upset right now over the combination of Jessie with Tara. We may not like this guy, but TNA Creative, they see something in this guy. I'm not sure what it is. I've been trying to see what it is that they see. I just do not see it yet. I will say this much. He's got a great physique, but that's pretty much all I see right now. I think this pretty much boils down to popularity right now. And what I think is going to happen with this particular match, Jessie and Tara, I got them picking up a win. They need to keep this momentum going. I'm not really sure where this storyline is going to take them, but for some reason I see that necessary momentum being needed off of ODB and EY so they can have bragging rights, as I feel this will be a real good jump start to this mixed tag team rivalry. And hey, maybe it could culminate in those TNA knockout tag titles being put on the line. So for this match right here, I'm going with Jessie and Tara over ODB and EY. Alright, let's move on with our next match now, which sees Who Wants a Mustache Ride? Mr. Joey Ryan at Joey Ryan Online on Twitter for you guys that have been following him, taking on Mr. The Whole Effing Show, Rob Van Dam, for the TNA X Division title. This match, I was really confused when I was looking at this match, because I was trying to look at who could really use this win from both sides. And I must admit, I am having difficulty still going with a winner for this match. And let's just really talk this out here, and maybe I can make an official ruling here. You know, we got RVD, who became the TNA X Division champion last month at Bound for Glory. Here he is. He's taking on a newcomer in Joey Ryan. And let's not forget, folks, Matt Morgan will not be at ringside. Hulk Hogan has banned Morgan from being in Joey's corner during this match. So Ryan gonna have to go at it alone. I'm looking at RVD. I must admit that was a great match he had last month at Bound for Glory against Zema Ion. They had one hell of a great match. RVD becoming the X Division champion, but we haven't really seen that much of RVD since. Now he did defend the title on an episode of Champion Night a few weeks back on Impact Live. But other than that, he's pretty much been kind of quiet there. Really hasn't had that much of a main feud going on, not a main program going on since he's gotten that title. Just kind of popping up here and there. Meanwhile, Joey Ryan seems like he's been more frequent on TNA, but let's not forget he's currently holding on to that Empire Wrestling Federation championship down in the indie circuit. He's still doing work with Pro Wrestling Guerrero. I'm keeping all these things in mind, and I'm kind of looking at the plate that Joey Ryan has right now, and I'm saying to myself, can Joey Ryan really be the new X Division champion? Can he carry that workload while he's doing everything else? And quite honestly, the answer is yes. With the type of schedule and the type of way that TNA has the contract set up with their wrestlers, yeah, it's very, very highly likely that Joey Ryan could walk away with the championship and still be able to do all those things, juggle all of them, and be a TNA X Division champion on top of it. So, for me, this really boils down to another case of popularity and just who has that whole momentum going in their favor right now. So I'm looking at these two guys, and I must admit, I don't really see that much one could do with RVD. I think that it was nice that he became the the X Division champion. Got my belts mixed up. Apologize there, folks. I like him as the X Division champion, but against Joey Ryan, I just feel that Joey Ryan, it would really look good on his resume right now to be able to just come into TNA Wrestling, not even there for a solid month as a full-time competitor, and just grab that X Division title off the break. I am looking for an upset right here. I'm going to have to go with Joey Ryan, and I know he was on our show a while back, and yes, we love Joey Ryan, but, favoritism put to the side, I'm going with Joey Ryan right here for the win. Just think how badass that would look if Joey Ryan pops up on the next episode of Impact Live and he's just rubbing it all in Hulk Hogan's face that he told him just a week prior he was going to be the new X Division champion. I think that would really look really good. Nice little bragging rights, rubbing it in Hogan's face. All right, let's go with our next match. Magnus versus Samoa Joe. We got that television title on the line. Magnus and Samoa Joe continuing their program. Joe vowing that he is going to choke Magnus out, that he's going to kill him. Remember, these two guys, they've been going at it back and forth off and on within recent weeks. This rivalry is really starting to pick up. They're going to have another great match. It's going to be a straight up brawling type of match. It's going to be really gritty. It's going to be nasty. I love it. I love the thought of that. Love the thought of these two guys hooking it up. Magnus, damn impressive in that last encounter that he had with Joe. This time around, I'm expecting the end results to be the same. I see no reason why Samoa Joe would lose the X Division Championship now. No reason whatsoever. I really haven't gotten that strong indication that TNA is ready to have Magnus become the new X Division champion, or correction, television champion. I don't see that happening right now. I don't know what's going on with me and mixing up those two belts. Maybe it's because they have so many damn belts. I think they might probably need to tone it down a little bit. But in either case, folks, Magnus, I love Magnus, and I know TNA is trying very hard to push this guy. I do see great things happening for Magnus, but right now, Samoa Joe, he is hot right now. You got to keep that streak going. I really see no reason why Samoa Joe would lose the belt to Magnus. Smart move, play it safe, go with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe for the victory. All right, let's go with Daniels, Kazarian as they're taking on Chavo, Guerrero, and Hernandez for the TNA tag titles. Now, for me, this match right here, this is pretty much a no-brainer right here. Chavo, Guerrero, and Hernandez, big super mechs, their first tag title defense. Why would they lose them all of a sudden? Now, I know we've seen some weird things happen in TNA where somebody can only have a belt for a couple of weeks and then next thing you know, they lose it, only to loses it again back to the person that originally had it on a episode of Impact Live. So I know it can happen from time to time, but I'm just looking at Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. And once again, folks, say it with me. What's this really about? Popularity. That's the word of the day. I'm going with Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. There's really no reason to really go into more discussion about this match. When it's all said and done, it's going to be a great tag match. I mean, come on, man. You can't really go wrong with Daniels and Kazarian. You know you can't go wrong with Guerrero and Hernandez. Two really great tag teams right here. All these guys, they got that veteran tag team expertise that they will be bringing with them to this match. It's going to be a great tag match. Wouldn't surprise me if it was maybe one of the show stealers of the night. But when it's all said and done, Chavo Guerrero, Hernandez, I got them for the win. All right, let's now go to our next match where, what's up, Doc? That's right, I'm not talking about Doc Hollywood. I'm not talking about Doc from Back to the Future. No. I am talking about Doc, a.k.a. Director of Chaos, a.k.a. what's up, Doc? A.k.a. Luke Gallows, taking on one Joseph Park. Now, remember how this match had came about, folks. It was on Impact this past Thursday that we had saw Joseph Park plead to TNA General Manager Hulk Hogan to put him in a match against somebody from Aces and Eights, as he wants a bit of payback from them keeping him hostage several weeks back. They didn't really do him too wrong. They fed him good. They kept him kind of clean there. They did him pretty good. What's he complaining about here? But in either case, we got Joseph Park looking for the big payback in this match. And up to the plate to take him on will be Doc, Director of Chaos. You're looking at this match and you're keeping in mind Joseph Park, those words that he said on Impact. You're keeping in mind how he sat up and said how he loved being in the ring, how it gave him a great feeling to be performing and not really knowing what to expect. Just really trying to play into that side more than the lawyer side. And, I think it's kind of funny that Joseph Park is so concerned about being a active wrestler, at least for this one night against Aces and Eights, and he just completely forgot about his brother, Abyss, as that's really why he was there in TNA to begin with. What happened with the search for your brother, Abyss, Joseph? I mean, talk about a storyline that is just totally left blowing in the wind, folks. In either case, Joseph Park versus Doc. This is a case right here where who needs this win more? And quite honestly, nothing would please me more than to see Doc lose to Joseph Park. And I say that because I can just think of a great episode of Impact coming off of this pay-per-view where Aces and Eights, they are just mouthing off at Doc for losing to Joseph Park. They're pretty much telling him he's in hot water right now and that they really need to think it over, think about if he's still going to remain with Aces. You go over to Joseph Park's side, Hulk Hogan. He could be pleased with the fact that Joseph was able to pull through, get another win, kind of help bring that battle to Aces and Eights to another level, another notch in the belt, victory-wise for TNA. That does sound nice when you think about it. So, why am I kind of getting this impression that Doc might win at Sunday's pay-per-view? Let's just really think about this, folks. Does it make more sense for Doc to get a win over Joseph, or does it make more sense for Doc to get a loss from Joseph? For me, if I were booking this, and I'm just thinking about it from a writing standpoint, I would have Doc lose to Joseph Park to further that fuel that Aces and Eights could kick him out of the group, and talk about a backfire, because just imagine what would happen if Aces and Eights, they kick Doc out of the group. And who said they had to kick him out of the group next Thursday? They could just have this be a running gag where Doc is trying to prove himself week after week after week, and after so many attempts, they finally just beat the crap out of him and they officially kick him out of the group. And that could have Doc defect over to Team Hulk Hogan, and Doc is able to try to shed a little bit of light on the identities of the Aces and Eights members. That would be the ultimate payoff right there. Keeping in mind, Joseph is supposed to know who these men are, and that's another thing that's left blowing in the wind. What's going on with the story continuity right here, folks? In either case, I'm going to go with an upset right here. It would look like on paper you go with Joseph Park, but I'm going to go with, this is a tough one. This is a real tough one, guys. God. Okay, you know what? My mind's made up. I'm going to go with Joseph Park. I'm going to go with Joseph for the win. And there's going to be some serious consequences for Doc coming up on the next episode of Impact. All right, my mind's made up. It's done. All right, let's move on with the next match, folks. And that brings us to the main event of the night, which is going to be a ladder match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, as Austin Aries will be taking on the Enigma One, Jeff Hardy. One more time, these two guys lock it up. This is a match where really it is going to set the tone for weeks to come. When I first heard that these two guys were going to be getting it on at this Sunday's pay-per-view, I said yes. Another great classic matchup. They are going to top whatever they did at BFG. And the fact that they are making this a ladder match solidifies in my mind this is going to be a 5-star match. I know I'm jumping ahead, but that's just the vibe that I'm getting when I think about this match, folks. And let's just think about what all we've seen within recent weeks, as Jeff Hardy just really being disrespected by a bitter former World Heavyweight Champion in Austin Aries, who can't let it go that he lost to a better man, that he lost to somebody superior than he. And Austin Aries just not being able to let it go, just being a hell-bent sore loser when it's all said and done. Here we are, we have this ladder match. This is really going to be a phenomenal match. If you know Jeff Hardy, and I know a majority of you wrestling fans, you do know about Jeff Hardy because you remember him from his days in the WWE. You know this man is one of the kings of ladder matches, and if you need some type of evidence to back that up, just go check out that WWE DVD that came out a while back. I believe it is the greatest ladder matches in WWE history. You'll thank me later. Jeff Hardy makes a few appearances on that one. This is Jeff Hardy's match, folks. I mean, I honestly see no indication why Jeff Hardy would lose the title to Austin Aries this Sunday. Jeff Hardy, he is TNA's golden goose right now. He is one of their top merchandise pushers. He's right up there with Hulk Hogan, if not over Hulk Hogan. And of course, we got Jeff Hardy's contract that's supposedly going to be expiring in early 2013, and they're trying to please him now, butter him up, get him nice and ready. When they get ready to do those renegotiations, hey, it's a no-brainer right here. Once again, the word of the day is you got to go with what's popular, and the other word of the day is you got to go with what's safe. And the money right now, see no reason why Jeff Hardy would lose the title this Sunday. I'm looking past Austin Aries. Jeff Hardy for the retain. This is probably one of the most easiest call that match specials I have done in a long time, and that's really just been the flow that I've been feeling now. I want you guys to know I actually spent a whole day just looking over the matches, and I was just marinating on it. I did not want to rush to conclusions, and I just looked at the card for the pay-per-view after it was initially announced on Impact, and I was looking at the people that could possibly win right then and there, but then I marinated on it. I came back to it, fresh set of eyes, and definitely took the time to really think it out, and those are the people I'm going to be going with to be victorious for Sunday's Turning Point pay-per-view. Let's recap one more time, folks. Let's take it up from the bottom and work our way to the top. For the number one contender in the Robert Roode versus James Storm versus AJ Styles match, I have James Storm picking up the win. The person I feel that will be the one to get pinned or submit to not be able to get another shot at a TNA World Heavyweight title until BFG 2013. I've got that being Robert Roode. Devon versus the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. I have Devon picking up the win, but expect some type of foul play happening in that match, whether from Devon or his aces and eights brothers. Jesse and Tara will be taking on ODB and Eric Young. I'm going with Jesse and Tara. Joey Ryan will go over RVD to become your new X Division champion. Samoa Joe will retain his television title over Magnus. Chavo, Guerrero, and Hernandez will tough it out and retain their tag titles over Daniels and Kazarian. Joseph Park will pull the unthinkable and he'll get an upset win over what's up, Doc? Which will piss off his aces and eights bandmates. And for the main event, Jeff Hardy proving why he is one of the kings of the ladder matches. Will dig down deep and he'll be able to retain his TNA World Heavyweight Championship in another classic encounter with AA Austin Aries. And that's going to do it, folks. What are your match predictions? We'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on Twitter at Infinity1Prod, Facebook at Infinity1 Productions, and also on our YouTube channel at the RCWR Show. If you're on point, all your picks are on spot accurate. We will show you mad love and give you a shout out live on the air. as we're going to have the RCWR post show coming live this Sunday immediately following TNA Turning Point at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern. You'll be able to hear it right here on this website at blogtalkradio.com, also on Stitcher, our sister website at infinityOneProductions.com, and you'll also be able to check it out on YouTube. It's going to be a great pay-per-view. Of course, we'll be covering the fallout from the pay-per-view live in progress. That's right. If you're not going to be able to check out the Turning Point pay-per-view, have no fear. Beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern this Sunday, you'll be able to check out our website, and we'll be providing live coverage all throughout the night during the pay-per-view. We'll be feeding you all results. We'll also be interacting with those of you on Twitter, asking you all how are you enjoying the pay-per-view. So feel free to interact with us. And again, if you're not able to catch the pay-per-view, our website will have you covered with live results in progress. You'll also be able to pop up in our chat room over on Blog Talk Radio, where we'll be giving constant updates all throughout the night leading up into our new episode of the RCWR Post Show, covering the fallout with live fan reaction. So make sure that you check that out. Well, the talk of wrestling doesn't end here. Be sure to check us out at infinityOneProductions.com for all the latest on wrestling related news and so much more. And also, if you have not made that impact yet in the lives of those that were affected by Hurricane Sandy, can't stress it enough, make sure that you text Red Cross on your mobile phone to 90999, and $10 will go to the Red Cross to help out victims that were affected by Hurricane Sandy. That $10 will not show up until your next billing cycle. Once again, you can text Red Cross to 90999. Also, you can go to Impact Wrestling's website and you can buy a Make a Impact t-shirt. You can buy it for guys or you could buy it for girls. And the shirt only costs $20, but check this out, folks. 100% of all proceeds, all profits from those shirts will be going towards the victims affected by Hurricane Sandy. So you have two really great options to be able to really make an impact, make a difference in the lives of the people that were affected by Hurricane Sandy, as we are on the eve of Veterans Day and we are just about 2 weeks shy from the Thanksgiving holiday. So really nice way to give back. On a personal note, we just wanted to extend our condolences and our prayers to Drew McIntyre, who unfortunately had lost his mother this week at an early age. She was only in her early 50s. Drew McIntyre, you have our deepest prayers and condolences. And anybody that is a fan of Drew McIntyre, whether you like him or you hate him, it really sucks when you lose a parent so young. If you wish to send your wishes and condolences, you can do so by going to WWE's website. And you know they have that official Twitter handle where you'll be able to see all the wrestlers. You'll actually be able to interact with Drew McIntyre. Highly encourage you to hit him up on his Twitter account and give him some kind words of encouragement as him and his family are going through these difficult times right now. That's going to do it until we hear from you all this Sunday for the RCWR Post Show covering TNA Turning Point. Till we hear from you all, I am, as always, the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. Do hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you this Sunday. Be safe and be kind to one another, folks. Take care.